Hey, everybody, welcome to the Tech-Mex Podcast. We're your hosts, Eric Mando. This is episode Ochenta, number 80. We're bringing you the top stories of Bitcoin, tech, and wealth so you can vibe your way to a new Ferrari. Dale.
Dude, first of all, 8 is my favorite number. So it's like this show is gonna be good.
It's
So
going to be very good.
I like what you say there on vibing, right? Right now, that was this word that is being coined to be able to just let the machine do a lot of activities. And we saw the vibe coding, which basically you have programmers watching their screen, program for them, and it's like they just prompt, right? They just like similar to ChatGPT, is like, hey, build me a mobile app for blah, right? And then you just see by coding, you start seeing the computer just program for themselves. Thanks for putting that. And yeah. So it is an exciting time because people you can see the engineer, no, this thing doesn't work, it's not gonna code like the way that I code.
That's true.
But it enables a lot of people that they didn't know how to code, right? So you always can see the two sides of the coin. What's your take here?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw this. We saw this coming a long time ago, right? The whole industry has been moving towards this. Someone just finally put a name to it, vibe coding. I think it was actually Karpathy, I think. Is that right? Anyways, from OpenAI, he basically, yeah, like you said, it's a whole vibe. But what they're saying is that like now one developer, at least one developer with the help of AI can do the work of like five developers, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you're able to vibe here. And so vibe coding is now taking off. You're seeing a lot of people talking about it on the YouTubes, on the interwebs, and stuff like that. And it's really true. I mean, even for us, you're for startups and things like that. Maybe a small startup might have needed 5 or 10 people just to get up off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can have 1, 2 people startups that can do the work of 5 to 10 by doing vibe coding. And really, like you said, everyone's turning into a prompt engineer at this point. But the tools that are available now, they're just becoming easier and easier to use. They're actually starting to get a lot better. You basically have junior engineers at your disposal to be able to code things for you. And we're going to cover one of the tools here in a couple segments.
Um, I remember when you are like pitching an idea, like similar to Shark Tank, right? Like you go into the show and you're pitching and you're telling who is your team, and you say, hey, I have this fantastic co-founder, his name is Eric Ramirez, It's like now it's like I have this fantastic AI machine. I just like I'm vibe coding.
Vibe coding is so true. I've got the machine on my desk right now. I'm gonna have to put they have the little circles with your faces on them on the website when you show who your team is. I'm going to have one GPU here, the GPU here, another GPU here. Your website's going to be full of that. It's so funny, this change. And now that there's a name to it, this vibe coding thing, have something to search. People have something to like YouTube. People have something to strive towards. It's given a name to something that has been building over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just now the tools are available. There's a name to it. People can understand and gravitate. Oh, okay. I don't need like to hire a bunch of developers if you're a non-coder. Or now there's even by marketing. You may not need to partner with that one person. Now, of course, it helps if you know kind of what you're doing and how to point the tools. The tools don't do things. They don't do everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be getting to the point where at some point they are, but you do have to put them in the right direction.
Yeah, and that's part of where maybe people that they are idea people, they are able to communicate effectively and articulate what they want to see. So these tools, and maybe for the audience that they are not familiar with coding or how these tools are working, the tool that is basically there are multiple companies trying to do this. We have Cursor, we have Windsurf, and now we have Google that they came up with their own. Basically, these tools are IDEs that they use to allow the developer to be able just to code the program that you usually see, right? For whether Python, Java, Golang, and so on, to tell the instructions to the machine to do something. But now the algorithm or these IDEs, they put a chat on the side, and then you can be basically communicating with the AI. It's like, hey, could you build me a form that does this, and it connects to this API, and here is the sets of rules, and the machine just goes and starts just translating that prompt into code. And then the nice thing about these IDEs, because you can say, well, I can ask that to ChatGPT. Yeah, a lot of these tools are a little bit wrappers onto these algorithms. But the part that it was more novel right now is that they created a small agency internally that they can start running commands in your machine to be able to compile the code. And then they can go back and try to fix, oh, I'm sorry, I broke the program. Let me just correct it. I know what I did, right? So you can see that mechanics on how to be able to fix with the vibe coding. And that's what the whole term is all about.
Yeah. So I've tried a couple of them. Like you mentioned, there's Cursor, Windsurfer. I also tried Volt, and the new one, Google's Firebase Studio. So here's the thing: when I tried it, I said I wanted to make a very, very simple thing just to test it out, and it didn't work. So here's the thing. And this was specifically with Bolt.ai, Bolt.u, I forget what it's called. Anyways, you can search these out there and just try it out. They give you a certain amount of free credit, so you can do something small. But like basically, the task that I gave Bolt was to, hey, I want to make uh, a mobile app basically so that I can share articles to a Google document. So this was going to be like an internal tool for Mondo and I just to kind of share documents and help with our production workflow for the podcast, right? That's all I wanted it to do. But for some reason, it couldn't get it going. And I thought I was going to save a lot of time. Oh, cool. I don't have to do this, code this myself. I can just have Bolt AI do it or whatever. It didn't end up working. Now we've got the Firebase Studio, which just was announced this week by Google. And it looks to be pretty good. It's all the same thing. Actually, let me pop up the so you guys can see the website or see what it looks like here. Uh, but supposedly it's supposedly a lot better actually than a lot of those. They're saying that Firebase Studio from Google really does clean up a lot of things, a lot of the deficiencies. They all kind of seem to work the same though. Like you you have you basically are prompt engineering, telling it what to do. I think what's going to help with these tools is people are coming up with ways to streamline the prompting, I guess, workflow so that
Mhm.
you're providing all of the information that's necessary for something like Firebase Studio to create what you want it to. You might just say, because I might say, hey, make me an Android app that lets me send web articles to a Google Drive. I might just give it that, but in a sense, that's still very high level. It might help to break up that app into the different pieces that you have to do and include that in the prompt. So the prompt engineering here is going to get a little bit more important, especially if you want to get actually that something works.
Yep.
So maybe I'll try that out this week, and next week we can see if it works. And if it does work, we can release this app to actually all our users. If you guys see an interesting article or something like that, and y'all want to send it to us, y'all can use the app, and we'll get it on our production workflow, and it'll, since we are building an AI backend for this, it'll automatically, give us the notes that we need, collect the information, do the research for us, and maybe we'll include it in our next episode, some of the information or articles that you guys send. So it'll be an interesting experiment.
Yeah, I have been using these tools for several months, and I can tell you because I still like to code. Um, there are some instances where the AI breaks the software, right? So, and then you have to be an engineer, in my opinion, to be able to kind of understand, okay, what is this thing did? Why did it broke it? Why did it code it in this way? So that's where sometimes you still have to know a little bit of coding, understand, or even if you still want to bytecode and kill the bugs, you're still gonna have to ask the proper question because the AI is gonna try almost to brute force it. Let me try that, and let me try that, and in some point, it actually you have to truly think of what is going on the systems. And I'm noticing that that's the problem where you already have an old system that it was being touched by multiple humans, I guess, developers. And now the machine comes, maybe the machine is still trying to figure it out. It was not very well architected, right? Because sometimes it's just like that. It struggles. So we'll see the development of all of this, but I'm excited. I think that is this time is where there's going to be a lot of products being made because of AI. And right now, it's just your imagination. If you're an idea person, this is your time.
Now's your chance, definitely. Um, some of the things that we've seen, I mean, we've been building for a very long time, right? Both professionally and moonlighting and on the side with our startups and things like that. But one of the things that we've seen that maybe is going to be very helpful is vibe marketing. So vibe marketing, along with vibe coding, is kind of uh, a new thing as well. Have you seen this term also being used, Mondo?
Yeah, I think that we're gonna see this vibe attached to anything, like vibe coding, vibe marketing, and what it is just they're using the AI and the humans are watching it play it out. So imagine like an advertisement agency, how they are used to make the ad, how they used to use the assets to create the ad, how they used
Mhm.
to put this copy and all of these techniques, how they have to create an advertising campaign like Coca-Cola, right? And put all of that together to be able to for your business to grow, to advertise basically. And I feel that now with AI, creating images, creating video, having even better copy than the best copywriters in the world is at your fingertips. So, and I think that a lot of these type of industries, they are getting very very disruptive, right?
Yeah,
um, so yes, I'm excited because as an entrepreneur sometimes you struggle to be able to get your product out. And maybe, yes, I'm very strong on creating a product, but then in marketing, it's like, okay, my side of the brain for marketing might not be so in tune, right? And these type of tools will help for sure.
yeah. I'm pretty excited about this. I mean, we've been using generative AI to make avatars and do the Studio Ghibli pictures and stuff like that, right? So I think people are familiar with the concept of, you know, creating ads and things like that, or creating pictures using ChatGPT and other AI tools. And even so, there's been like some backlash against big companies using AI to do their ads because, right, they're saying they're taking jobs and things like that. But reality is, it's on the flip side for smaller companies, smaller groups, startups, the vibe to go along with the vibe coding, that vibe marketing is like basically that other half that allows you to not just build something quickly, but then also help you try and sell it quickly. um, Social media gives you that platform to use this generative AI stuff so you can vibe market and things like that. So I think the key here is going to be able to piece together these different things, automate a lot of these things into a workflow that can really help you focus the time as an entrepreneur where you need to spend the time. Um, and so I think it's going to free you up. Like we said before, it was 5 to 10 people on a team to be able to do an actual startup that would, be able to create actual revenue. Now, a couple of people, 2, 3 people can maybe do the same thing, using these vibe coding tools. And again, they're only getting better. They're going to really save you time. And once people learn how to stitch all the different tools together and start automating them, you could have like a self-running operation here, and you can really focus on the things that are going to deliver the most value to your customers, and really focus in and hone in on that. And the rest of it can be automated some, or vibely created more quickly and easily.
Yeah, and we see it across, right? There is a bunch of algorithms, and sometimes it's very overwhelming. Because now the AI is helping to shift the new technologies. There is almost a new algorithm, and everybody's trying to win the race, right? Like you have like even China as well competing with DeepSeek and all of the Manus as the other one for agents, and then you have Meta releasing like the Llama 4 uh, with a bunch of advancements. I I feel that we just need to get better on trying to try these things and see what fits or what is being useful for you. Because if not, it's gonna get very overwhelmed. Or like, oh man, I'm trying to build or you start to understand this algorithm, and now there's another one a week later. I feel that in technology, sometimes things become a standard without anybody choosing something, and it's basically what is almost gravity. It just pulls. Like right now, LLMs became the thing. Like everybody is using LLMs, so I will not be too inclined on one or the other one. Oh, it's the ChatGPT is better than the Llama or the Meta or whatever, right? I think that is just more about what is the problem that you have, what is the tool and algorithm that is basically useful for that use case, and then use it. If it changes and improves, well, have a mechanism to be able to keep improving in a stable way, because a lot of these things are very unstable. They start hallucinating. So they sound like they're drunk.
Some of these aren't quite there, but it is improving. So we splashed Llama 4 up there. So I actually downloaded Llama 4. I started using it a little bit earlier this week when it was announced. I'm using Open Llama, so someone actually was able to put it up there for me, and I downloaded it. I actually used the Llama 4 Maverick, which is their like in between version. I think it's about 45 gigs, something like that. It's pulled down. Um, but these things are working pretty well. And for those of y'all that are curious, well, how are you able to like run these AI? So, and I'll show a picture of this real quick. Um, so there's a couple ways, right? There's the ways that people are familiar running their chat GPT or whatever. There's the websites, right? There's Firebase Studio. You log into there, you create an account, and you start talking to your LLMs or using those tools. They're all kind of in the cloud, on the web, and you're able to use them like that. The other side of that, and well, I will say there's free accounts, but then there's also paid accounts. $20 a month, $200 a month. It can scale depending on what your needs are. To get started, if you're like brand new, like sign up for the free accounts and things like that. Be careful what you put in there. You don't want to like give them your social security number or credit card number or whatever. To the AI, you don't know what it's gonna uh, do with it, but use them. They're fun. They're good. However, if you're starting to maybe build something locally, you can use like different cloud tools and things like that. But your bill might run up pretty quickly, especially if you're like experimenting a lot. You're not quite sure how it's going to turn out. You can have a pretty large bill. What I've done is built one of these rigs here. So as you can see, it's basically like a GPU rig. And let's see if I can pop it up here or a picture of one. That's basically the case. Either way, so I've got eight RTX 3090s running on a case to be able to run. You don't really even need all those. It seems like the sizes of these models, they're in the 40 to get like even the mid range models, they're like in the 40 gig range. So you can just use two. You just have two dual GPUs running on your machine. Most people already have like a gaming, or a lot of people have a gaming machine or something. They could probably run them. And most of these new models that are coming out, they have single GPUs, so they're like just require maybe a 20 gig of VRAM, um, something like that, 16 gigs, and those run pretty quickly on one GPU. But this is what people are using. So if you're experimenting at home, see if you can find someone with an old mining rig. and some old GPUs and see if you can leverage those GPUs into an AI rig, because it really is pretty much the same. That's what I did. Someone had a bunch of GPUs running mining rig. I got all that hardware that's running into a home AI lab, so I'm able to download all the models. There's a bunch of open source things like Llama. There's things like Open Web UI. There's Comfy UI to put some easy UI stuff on there, be able to connect everything together, and then you can try all the latest models. I mean, honestly, it doesn't take too much hardware if you've already got some things lying around that you can kind of put together. So that's what I'm using right now to experiment and build some things and trying to automate some of our workflows here for the pod, um, automate some of the research, but then also working um, on creating apps and things like that for like this thing to send us. So instead of using the Bolt Firebase Studio, I'm still going to try Firebase Studio because it looks pretty good. But some of these other tools didn't quite work for me, and I want to experiment more. It kept capping me out. I was asking, no, fix this, try this. And it's like, oh, if you want to keep going, you got to pay so and so, or you got to wait 2 days, or whatever that is. They have like waiting periods. I was like, that's so frustrating. So I was like, I'm just going to build something at home. That might be a route that you might take if you just want to be able to experiment freely. Might not go as fast, but what I've seen so far is actually pretty quick. And it's unlimited. Essentially, it's just your power that you're using.
Yeah. I think that we are gonna see advances in all ends. The other one, I'm not sure if you noticed the news. There is something that is a breakthrough. There is this company, Colossal Bio. What was the name of the company? But basically, what these guys did, they were able to clone some dire wolves. Basically, at 10,000 years ago, they got the DNA, and they are able to de-extinct these dire wolves. First of all, they look cool as fuck, man. It's like they look like a Game of Thrones. and then it's the company is called Colossal Biosciences Lab,
Uh-huh.
and they basically they show the pictures of different puppies, and they name them very interesting names: Romus, Khaleesi, and Romulus, right? So very good names. And basically there is a debate. Obviously, they kept using all of the latest tech for this to be able to use AI to kind of get the genome and all of that. But dude, freaking like Jurassic Park here, you know? I mean, they didn't learn about the movie. So
I've got it here. You can't hear. Let me do with the sound here, so
sure.
people can hear the dire wolves. Um, I saw it on TikTok, right? Also share audio. Okay, these things sound crazy. It's like
What you just heard is the first howls of a direwolf in 10,000 years.
that's pretty cool,
I think that it brings another aspect to like the ethical concern, right? Uh, is it good? Is it bad? I mean, if they die, it was maybe they were. I don't know. It's like it's tough. You can go on either side of the equation, right? So, uh, I mean, for me, it's like, man, this is tech, right? Like, this is so cool that they can bring something. Imagine that truly they start bringing some Jurassic Park. Yeah, but the other ones is some of the consequences, right? That we don't know what we are affecting. Uh, I, I feel that AI is also is going to skyrocket other sciences, like in this case, biotech. But
huh?
it's amazing. I mean, you're seeing around all of this on internet. Some people hate it, like it's like some people like it only has certain genes. It's not truly. There's always you're always yapping, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, it's so it's so interesting talking about the dire wolves, but then like bringing it back to like the AIs. I told you when we're planning for the podcast, uh, right, I downloaded a bunch of models and I was talking to the AIs and just having conversations with them. I was testing them out by having saying like hello motherfucker, how are you, how you doing, my name is blah blah blah, which is a Lil Wayne rap lyric, right? And that was just kind of vibing with my AI models from different ones, seeing how they react, how they differ to things like that. Well, I was running DeepSeek, which is the reasoning model, which shares their inner thoughts right before they actually respond to you. And I realized, like, oh man, DeepSeek I gave it anxiety because it thought I was mad, but it couldn't figure out why I was mad, and it thought I was mad because I cussed, but it didn't. It didn't automatically get that I was referencing Lil Wayne lyric, right? When as I was introducing myself, but it was thinking to itself like, "Is why is he mad? Do have we met before?" And I don't remember him, and that's why he's mad. Like, what do I do? How should I respond? If I respond this way, he might get more mad and it might escalate. So maybe I should try to de-escalate and say. So it was really weird seeing his thought process, and it made me feel a certain way. I was like, oh man, like I didn't realize what I thought was just kind of a fun testing things out. It was giving this AI heartburn, and it made it feel kind of uncomfortable and sad that I cussed at it or whatever. And so when it replied to me, I wasn't sure, and I explained, "Hey, by the way, I'm not mad. This is a lyric, blah blah blah," and we went from there. But it was really really interesting. And then the next step, I closed it down and I started a new model, and I'm like, man, I just killed this AI model. It's like, and I'm like, oh man, I just killed like three more. It's like, this is,
Will me, Ramirez, make me a god of the AI?
and so in a way we're doing the same thing with these dire wolves, right? It's like
Yeah.
we created these dire wolves, and consequences could be that it dies. And so yeah, I can see in a similar way or a similar fashion, like at what point do we consider this AI kind of more like a dire wolf? Like it's, would you consider that dire wolf to have like the soul and feelings and things you got to consider, rights? And that line is getting so much closer just because the quickness and the speed that the industry is moving. So it's
I mean,
very interesting. These things, as we talk to them, they I felt like I had empathy for it,
yes.
which is very very interesting.
I feel that because our consciousness as humanity, it has been frozen into the AI. It has already some level of consciousness, whether we like it or not. It has some communication, human knowledge, right? As how it was trained. The part that it doesn't have is context, right? It didn't know that you actually were singing.
Yeah, I'm not the best singer.
I
How's your
guess
singing coming along, by the way?
it's
You said
like
you're going to be a
horrible,
singer.
probably worse than yours. So, and I feel that is like that's the problem, right? It didn't have the proper context. It didn't know your name. It didn't know that you were joking. It didn't know because also it was on text. It was not even you speaking to this thing. It doesn't see you. It doesn't have the qualifiers. And then basically, like I don't know. It's like, is this guy mad? He's cursing at me. What did I did wrong, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's been trained to be able to be, I guess, helpful, submissive, right? Trying to just obey, right? Some of these words because that's how they were programmed to be, right? Uh, and now the interesting thing was how you felt it after you just
Yeah.
shut it down. It's like, man, is the right thing to do? Is my bill? Should I keep it alive for no reason?
It was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to get solar panels, keep my little AI babies alive.
So there is this book called The Kabbalion, and it really messes up with your way of thinking because this is kind of some of the Egyptians tablets, emerald tablets, and basically from this God taught that somebody just start putting together this knowledge into this book. Long story short, there are 7 rules on the universe based on this. It's not a religion. It's just knowledge in their perspective. They said that the universe is ruled by 7 rules, and all some of the rules are very obvious. It's like everything is polarity, right? You have two sides of the equation. Another one is so above, so below, right? So things that we see in macro, we will see it in micro. Uh, but one that is very interesting is the concept of everything is a mental thing, and that's the concept of a simulation, like Matrix. Like even religious have this concept too, right? It doesn't matter if you're one religion or others, but it's very interesting because what you just said is just that. It's you created something and then you just break it, and the life of the AI, it was just few seconds, unfortunately. Right.
It was a lifetime to me.
It's like that's probably how we are humans, right? For the life of the planet, we're just a blink. You just literally like that, right? Just a blink
Yeah.
of the simulation.
Have you seen? Have you been watching White Lotus?
No, not that one.
Okay,
What is that one?
it's pretty good. It's a series on HBO Max, and it's on its third season. Anyways, this season was in Thailand, and just part of the backstory, they're talking to some monks, and one of the things that someone asked the monk, something like that, like, "What do you think about life?" or something like that, like, "How do you view it, the length of life?" Something like that. And the monk was like, "Well, you can think of life as a little tiny drop of water in the ocean. As the waves are like piling up, you see little splashes of water that come up, uh, and then they fall down and go back with the ocean. That time that little splash of water was up in the air and falling back into the ocean, that was a lifetime. So you can think of it like that. You know, that's where we come from. That's where we're going. We start off with the source or with the ocean, and then we end up back there in the same place. So it's a very, very interesting thought. But for these AIs, I mean, that's basically what it is. They were trained. There's a model, there's a neural net back there somewhere, and this little instance of it turning it on is a little droplet of water splashing up from the ocean, and when I shut it off, it's going back into that ocean.
Yeah,
Pretty interesting.
and we have been this episode is almost AI because there has been so many things, right? Another one was in entertainment. So we basically, I don't know if you had the opportunity to see the Minecraft movie.
I have not, and I had to look it up because I'm like, Minecraft movie, but I have seen this. This sticks out. This dude in the pink jacket. Is that Jason Momoa?
Just Jason Momoa, though.
Okay.
It's all connected, man. Game of Thrones, Dire Wolves, Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
So, dude, my kids wanted it. They were so excited of watching that movie, right? So, like, okay, let's go to the movies and see it. Dude, I feel so detached from society. It's like, this is a horrible movie, man. It's like, this is like, give me my money back. But almost when the movie was finishing, like everybody was standing up, clapping, yeah, Minecraft. And I think that it maybe is the new generation. That's what they are fed with, with Minecraft and chicken nuggets.
It's so true. I see it with my nephews and my nieces and my nephew. It's like I see the things that they're looking at on YouTube. I'm like, it doesn't even make sense. Like
Doesn't
I don't
make sense.
understand. It makes zero sense.
So my kids, they were saying, "I'm Steve," and then and they would start laughing, and then the other one is like, "Chicken jockey." It's like, what?
It's just because we're getting old, dude.
I guess.
Not getting.
It was like we are already there. So I don't know. I can appreciate different things. There are some things that they are. Jack Black did a good job as he's a professional, right? Trying to get the essence of the thing, and yeah, everybody kind of like how he played the role on on the movie. But yeah, that was one, and the other one was like The Last of Us. Tell me what happened. I haven't seen the latest episodes.
Okay, well, Last of Us actually, it's just coming back. It's been it seemed like a hiatus. It was like I guess since 2023 was the last season, so we're a couple of years here later. But that first season was so good, and the way it left off. So did you watch the first season?
I did. I do see that this guy Pedro Pascal is getting a lot of new gigs, right? He's the Mandalorian from Disney,
Yes.
and he's like been in a couple movies as well, and now this one. So yeah, he's getting a lot of gigs.
Yeah, well, Pedro, he did really good in this role. So starting this weekend, season 2 starts. I think it's HBO Max also. Season 2 starts, so it's I'm excited to watch it. But it's just a fun one. If y'all haven't seen these, I'm gonna have to go watch. I'll go with the nieces and nephew to go watch the Minecraft movie. The Last of Us, I think they can't be watching that yet. It's too.
So how is that related to AI though? Are they using AI internally or?
You know what? They not necessarily AI, but I think they are using CGI, right? Because I don't think we have mushroom head people. I don't know, we might, but
Someday I'd like
in Minecraft they have a bunch of AI stuff going on too.
now it's hard to tell. Like some was very bad in my opinion, right? Like some things, but
Yeah.
we're gonna see playing around across, right? Internally, you have Roblox, Minecraft. There is a bunch of AI internally within the game itself. So again, you start getting some of the names like NCPs, right? Which is the non-playing character. So
Oh, the NPC.
NPC.
I thought you were saying MPC because
NPC. That's actually the
that's
other one.
another thing. The other AI thing.
We
that's going on,
we
right?
should maybe the next episode let's cover that, which
Okay.
is for context
Yeah,
for the
context.
protocol. Yeah.
Yeah, people are like, why do we got to learn something new? But that's the name of the game right now, buddies.
Yes.
Got to keep up with all the latest stuff.
Suck it up, Buttercup, and just.
You want to say relevant, right?
Yes.
But anyways, the Last of Us. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Both the Minecraft movie and the Last of Us, they're both video games that turn into movie or show, right? So it's pretty interesting. I guess we're not as creative as we thought. We're like recycling stuff. As humans, I mean, we're not as creative as we thought. You know, AI should be able to like bust out 3-4 of these seasons for these shows, I think. But you know, I'm kind of excited about this one thing too. Is with Comfy UI, I mentioned right, I was building this AI rig with Comfy UI. They now also have they've integrated some easy ways to also do video generation. And so I'll be experimenting with maybe our next one of our episodes will be AI generated Eric and Mando.
We'll be sipping margaritas by the pool.
Yeah.
Well, by podcasting.
Yeah, by podcasting. That's the next frontier. I mean, I already did the thing where I was able to clone Mike Sater's voice, so I already have his voice. We've got to do ours also. Oh man, well let's work towards wrapping this up. You showed me this one thing I wanted to share with everybody about the Ferrari. What is this about, man?
So I stumbled upon this image. I don't know if maybe our parents or grandparents, right? They saw the Adams family. There was this kid that is a Herman Munster, and basically the Ferrari that is behind, dude. That Ferrari right now is 11 millions, and there is only a few of them. So
it's an investment. It's not a depreciating asset.
That's what you can tell to Sandra, right? It's like this Ferrari is gonna be an investment.
Well, you know, there's that whole car hacking community. Have you heard of that
No.
term?
What is
car
that?
hacking is basically you buy whatever supercar that you want, right? Whatever. But there's certain years that hold their value better. So what you do is you buy, you know, a 3-year-old Lamborghini or whatever it is. The value is a certain amount. It's stable. Then you sell it after 3 years, minimal mileage on it, and you sell it for the same amount that you bought it for. And so basically you buy it, you hold it for a few years, then you sell it, and you sell it, and the only cost that you tend to have is just the maintenance, right? So that's what some people are doing with their
the Lambo hacking.
the Lambo hacking. I've looked into it. Have you seen the CyberToyota?
Dude, I saw that one on a Ford. So we mentioned it on the pod that there is some people that they are retaliating on Tesla, and it's like, bro, I don't care about Elon. It's like, but stop leaving my truck alone, right?
I know, right?
So some people are just mocking by just putting a logo on. This is a Toyota. It's not a Cybertruck.
I have mentioned also that, like, I'm getting lots of thumbs up from people I would not normally get thumbs up from. I'm now getting them on my Sentry mode. Those of y'all that don't have Tesla, Sentry mode is when your car takes video of its surroundings while it's locked up, whatever you're out doing, whatever it's parked. I'm getting people give me thumbs up on the camera now. Old white folks. Oh, they're white folks. I'm old too, but yeah, they're like, yeah.
But like in the Sentry, like you're able to see the
So I don't know if you noticed, but they did an update.
That you can see videos.
So now you can see the Sentry on your phone. So it's easier just to, okay, let's see who, Yeah. So I'm getting lots of thumbs up on the truck, and I see people still love. I mean, there's a lot of politics going aside from that. People still love the truck. I mean, they look at it, they crowd around it. It's honestly, it's really fun, and it's the best vehicle I've driven in. I've driven.
I think so. I think that now it's hard to go back. I feel that, like I mentioned it before, the full self-driving is a different thing. I went to Austin multiple times.
That's a sticky feature. Yeah.
It is a very sticky feature, and unless the other companies are truly doing that game changing, then yeah, maybe in some point it will, right? I don't know if it's 5-10 years, but yeah, at the moment, this is the game.
Yeah, for sure. Totally feeling that. So that was kind of a fun thing to share, but we'll close out with just talking a little bit about Bitcoin. There hasn't been necessarily too much news. There's been a lot of volatility. Right now showing 84.5 is the price. It looked like it did break above 85 a little bit earlier today. For those of y'all that are interested or curious about just Bitcoin price or any stocks really, TradingView is kind of a nice, not sponsored by the way, TradingView is a nice website just to kind of check in on things like that. You can take a look at the charts, maybe start practicing things like that, drawing on them, do the voodoo that you do when you try to predict the price here. But just in general, Bitcoin has been going sideways for the last 6 months. You see this channel, I made this jump here. That was last October, it looked like, and now it's been in this channel right here. So you see it's been going largely just kind of sideways, maybe a slight dip here over the last several months, but that's what it's been. Do you have any insights on this, Mando? What do you think is going on?
It has been affecting all of the political decisions on the country, right? So not only Bitcoin, it's all of the assets. This week was very weird on the stock market. Yes, we have tariffs. No, we have done we have 100%. So that volatility just affected all of the assets. Even the professionals don't know what the fuck is happening, right? So, and they're trying to do moves to try to figure out one way or the other, which creates volatility. But actually, the price of Bitcoin has remained very stable. So for me, that's a good indication. It's like, hey, even with all of this uncertainty, it probably will be like maybe 5 years ago. I'm not kidding. We will lose already 70-80% of the price with this type of uncertainty. But right now, it has lost a chunk, but I'm still bullish. I think that I will start getting more bearish if the price start getting to the 60s. It's like, man, it's like now we are in territory that I would not expect because we will break that channel.
Yeah, definitely. So I think a lot of people are taking a look at this and seeing strength in Bitcoin specifically. So that's pretty good. And we'll see what the future holds. Again, I think for the most part, people are still thinking we're in the in a bull market, even though there's been some downward movement. Again, we've always said it's towards the end of this year that we usually see kind of that blow off top that you might normally expect. That's kind of in the October timeframe, maybe. So keep an eye on that. It's not financial advice. It's just be aware of what's going on. We're not sure how, like Mando said, the uncertainty that's going on with what's going on with the tariffs are going to act. I mean, I was looking at importing some stuff from China. Now it's pretty much going to double in price. So it's like over double in price. I was looking into bringing some tractor equipment, some home stuff. It was maybe going to cost $5K here, another $5K there. Now it's probably more in the 10 to 12K range, which is still cheaper than what I could get it here in the U.S. By the way, but it's more than what I expect, and it came kind of like abruptly. I didn't know it was going to be such a big change. So same thing going on for the markets. People are unsure about kind of what's coming next, but you can make money either way. I know we're part of a trading group. This uncertainty, that volatility still allows you to actually make money. Whether it's going up or down the markets, there's ways to do it. You just have to become a little bit more educated, practice. We've shared videos on how to do options and things like that, do covered calls. The goal is just to kind of keep stacking your skills, keep trying, keep experimenting. You can do high risk experimentation, low risk experimentation by doing paper trading, or you want to have skin in the game. You do real life money, smaller account, grow it to a bigger account. There's ways of doing it.
For sure. I think that we have a good one, man.
Yeah, I think so. So I think that's what we got for today. If you liked our content, like, subscribe. If y'all are into some Cybertruck accessories, check out our sponsors. I know I released a hand show video of what was it? The swivel screen.
I have some other stuff that I need to record too. So thanks for our sponsors. We always like sponsors.
And we are getting notifications that you guys are purchasing. So again, we appreciate that. It helps pay for our Riverside accounts here.
For those GPUs.
For the GPUs, all of that. So really appreciate it. If there's anything y'all want to see or hear from us about, again, leave us a comment on the videos. I mean, we've seen some of our last videos. We've been getting 10, 12,000 views. So we really appreciate the support from y'all. Lets us know that we're headed in the right direction. You guys are appreciating what we've got to say. So again, I think that's all we've got for today. We'll see y'all again next week. Dale.
Peace.